Kkooti y'ensi yonna ewozesa emisango gy'abakalintale Kololo mu maaso g'omulamuzi Richard Wabwire w'ejjule ekyagenda mu maaso n'okuwuliriza omusango gw'okukabasanya ko n'okukusa abaana oguvunaanibwa Omusomesa Junior tukwasibwe. Director wa Educate Child District Uganda Company tukwasibwe Junior avunaanibwa okukabasanya abaana 6 be yali alabirira nga basuubiza okubawa obuyambi mu bitundu by'e Kabale. Omujulizi owookuna Amos Kasigwe, Director wa Lords Foundation, kampuni yali yakulagaane tukwasibwe Junior, ategeezezza kkooti engeri gye yajja okufunamu amawulire okuva ku baana abaali bagambibwa okugagambulwa obumuli musajja mukulu tukwasibwe nga yabasuubiza okubawa obuyambi.
Another time she told us that they had chased her out of school for school fees balance. And when she came to office, she found Junior in his office. When she told him why she was out of school and how she needed help, she told us that Junior said, "You know the password." And that's in quotes, "You know the password." She says Junior told her that they needed to have sex together. She told us she refused, and that Junior got up from his chair, pushed her against the wall and started forcefully kissing her. And that she told him that she was in her menstrual periods in the hopes that he would get away from her. He told us that Junior moved his hands into her private parts to confirm whether it was true. And as he was doing that, luckily that someone knocked on the door of the office and he opened. She ran home.
Did she tell you the name of the person who knocked?
She told us it was one of the children. But she went home and told her mom that she would never ask anything again from Junior. When her mother asked why, she said she feared telling her what the reason was. She was scared of what Junior would do to her if she did.
Kasigwa yongerako nti nga bakategeera ku nsonga eno omwana omulala naye yajja n'abategeeza ku nsonga y'omu ng'ono tukwasibwe yatuuka n'okumukubisa empiso ya family planning ku buwaze.
But 4 days after that, another victim came to us who told us that Junior recruited her from their home. She spoke in Ruchiga and said, "Junior akandetom project." Literally translated as, he brought me into the organization. And when he got her into the organization, he went ahead to ask her to live with him, stay with him at the center where Junior and his family were staying.
Explain, what do you mean by the word
Center, this is the premises where kids used to gather for these programs, whether it's a character development session, whether they are games, whether they are collecting scholastic materials. This is where kids used to just come and gather, and the place was named a center because it was a meeting place for every sponsored child.
And where was the office? No, where was
the office was in that center, in that place where kids used to meet. It was, Junior had his office there and his bedroom there and 4 other bedrooms for the children. So when Junior got her into the organization, he tells us that he went ahead and asked her to come live at the center, and the center is the place we were talking about. And she told us that because of the hard circumstances home, where they sometimes used to go hungry and they did not have food, she saw it as an opportunity to have a better life and a good living. Shortly after that, Twasiwe Junior started asking sex from her.
Yes.
He started asking for sex from her, something she kept declining. But at one time she had a headache, she was feeling sick, and Junior offered to take her to the clinic. When they got to the clinic, she told us that she was injected with a family planning injection instead of treating her headache. And that when she asked Junior why he did that or told them to do that, she told us that Junior told her to keep quiet and that he was doing that to protect her. She told us that it was approaching Christmas time and that Junior sent his family back to his village in Kisoro and stayed back with Deborah, sending her to pick for him something where he found her, and she told us that he raped her the whole night, had sexual intercourse the whole night.
Omujulizi era ategeezezza kkooti nti abaana abasoba mu 10 be baakolebwako ebikolwa bino nga tukwasibwe yatuuka n'okupangisa loogi mu bitundu by'e Kabaale mwe yali akolera ebikolwa bino.
Yes, another victim talked to us who told us that one morning Junior drove to their home and asked her to escort him to do shopping for the groceries. They went together in the same car, and when they passed the market and she asked why they were not stopping to get the groceries that he talked about shopping, she told us that Junior told her to wait, that there is something, they needed to first get breakfast at Chirijime Guest House. They proceeded to Chirijime Guest House.
Where is Chirijime Guest House?
Chirijime Guest House is in Kabaale municipality. She told us that he had booked a room. They went into the room. He told her for them to get into the room and have breakfast.
What do you mean a room?
Like a bedroom. But when they got into the bedroom, he started touching her breasts and forcing himself onto her to kiss her. And when she tried pushing him off, he overpowered her and had sexual intercourse with her. And another victim who talked to us was...
And who was she in the...
She was one of the sponsored children as well. At the time she talked to us, though, she might have been 19, but when the incident happened, when she told us...
Yes, what did she tell you?
She told us that while she was still going to school, that Junior told her in order for her young sisters to get sponsors as well, she needed to make him happy as well.
Where were these younger sisters of Bridget?
They were living with the mother of Bridget in Kabaale, and those young sisters later also came into the program as well. Junior kept insisting that in order for them to get more help, that she knew the password.
When you use the word them, who?
Bridget and her family, her young sisters. And because she wanted opportunities for her young sisters. She says she agreed, and Junior booked her into Chirijime guest house as well, and they had sexual intercourse. She says from that time, he just kept taking her on trips whenever he would be going to Kisoro on Tungamo, and they would have sex together. Who said that on several occasions, Junior asked her for sex, and that he started as early as when she was in primary 7. She told us that because she was scared of losing the sponsorship, she kept telling him, "You wait a bit, I'll give you when I finish senior 4. And when she finished senior 4, she promised him that when she finishes senior 6, but that this one time when she was in S5, she went to office, and Junior also, she went to Junior's office.
Yes.
And that Junior pushed himself on her and started touching her breasts and forcefully kissed her. And that's when she threatened to make an alarm and call the people outside. And Junior left her to go. Another victim who talked to us went to their home in the evening and told her mother that he needed to go with Sheila because they were organizational things she needed to sort. He drove her into his car, parked above the Kabale Golf Course Club, where it's a little hidden from the public. And she told us that it was in the late evening, around 8 p.m. He says Junior parked the car and started asking her for sex, something that she declined. And she said he moved from his driver's seat and came to her seat, locked the car, and tore her neck apart and had sexual intercourse with her. 4 days after that, another girl came to us.
Okay, when she gave you that information, what step did you take? What did you do?
We started getting concerns about the safety of the girls in the program. And that's when we had that first accusation, that's when we decided that we needed to separate from Junior, like stop the partnership and register the NGO in Uganda. We talked to our lawyer.
When we just
me and Greg talked to the lawyer, to our lawyer, to ask for guidance, Justinian Katera, who immediately advised us to report the matter to police because he told us that because of our association with Kwasiwe Junior, that it would taint the image and reputation of our organization as well. And he went ahead to advise us that since Junior was very influential and prominent in Kabale, that we needed to report the matter to CID headquarters in Kampala. He was influential because, he was a leader of an organization whose work touched so many people in Kabale municipality, and that because that was his area of residence and he had been there for a very long time. Our lawyer told us that it was wise we report the matter at CID headquarters. And we recorded statements, and a team of detectives was sent to Kabale. We introduced the victims to the detectives who did their investigations.
Who did you introduce to the detectives?
I introduced the detectives to the victims, to all these girls that talked to us, Greg and I. And the team was led by Nusra. I don't remember the other name of Detective Nusra, who was ASP then, I think. They talked to the victims, and in the evening I received a call from the team leader Nusra telling me that they wanted to arrest Junior because of the touching stories they had heard from the victims. They went ahead and arrested him that late evening.
Yes, what followed next?
When Junior was arrested, his relatives and agents started threatening me, threatening the victims, and at some point compromised victims.
Okay, how were they threatening you? And how did you know that these were?
One of the incidents is when he appeared in court. He had applied for bail at Kabale High Court. And when I went to attend the bail hearing, Junior's relatives and other people I did not know were hailing insults and threatening to follow me up and harm me and that I would see.
What of the victims?
The victims were threatened and some were approached with money and other promises to get out of the case. In fact, one time she was also threatened and she ran and came to Kampala as well. Because these victims used to talk to me, but also one time, one of Junior's agents to Sasiwe, Richard, was arrested trying to bribe and compromise.
Where was he arrested from?
He was arrested at Speak Hotel here in Kampala. And he had been talking to them on phone and had sent money on their mobile phones to transport them and take them.
So at the time of arresting Richard, where were the victims you have mentioned?
The victims were still in Kampala at their relatives' place, and when we saw the magnitude of the threat to compromise the victims,
No, I'm talking about the arrest now.
The victims were at DPP's office, NSSF building. So when the case was coming up, I think it had been mentioned, the victims were being prepared to come and testify in court. He followed them up to NSSF building, workers' house, and he kept calling them and he asked them to meet him at Speak Hotel. And he had already sent them money that came to their phones, and they were showing us even the money on their phones. So when the victims went to meet him, That's when the police arrested Tusasiwe Richard. But also Tusasiwe Richard ran a tours and travel company called Gatatu Safaris, which whenever the Two Roads US team, United States side team, used to come in Uganda, it was the company that Junior hired to take them on safaris to go in the national parks and stuff. And so they had, or they still have a long business or personal relationship with Tusasiwe Richard. The DPP's office, Champisi Child Care Ministries, and Willow International. And our partnership has ensured that these victims are protected, they are safe, but also that their needs are well taken care of, their financial needs.
Are all the victims protected?
Not all of them. In fact, they were able to compromise most of the other victims who declined to come to court. And at one point, one of the victims we had put under Willow's Witness Protection Program escaped in the shelter because of the phone calls she had been receiving. She has since declined to come to court. And so are the other many victims taken care of, and that these victims are empowered in a way as well. But most importantly, that their safety is ensured. And currently they are still in that witness protection program.
So which victims are being empowered now, and by when? From where?
Future being taken advantage of.
Do you have any graduate junior?
No.
My lord, that is all for the witness.
Omulamuzi Richard Wabwire ayongezaayo omusango guno okutuusa ku ntandikwa y'omwezi ogw'ekkumi omwaka guno. Munnamateeka watukwasibwa Asiimwe Bosco bw'anaabako kye yeebuuza ku mujulizi Amos Kasigwe.